as well as the drift rears. So here's two drift rears that you just finished building this morning. Back up. Your 10-inch ring and pinion is going to carry momentum better, as well as your larger ring gear. This is actually the polishing process, the REM process.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, down here you barely see any spline.
Right.
That's what a pull broach does. So, is capable of being run inside the rear as well. Those are actually closed tube ones. They're very similar to what we produce for you guys in the drift market. Kind of right as it is. Replacement tubes as well for the closed tube market.
This is all your billets.
Yeah.
So today we are at an amazing facility, DMI, and DMI is our new partner for the quick changes. It's a huge company. It's a massive facility over here. Like, you guys probably can't even tell how huge this place is, but it's very, very large. I've been meaning to make this video for a long time, meaning to make a post about this stuff for a long time. As you guys know, we've been doing quick changes for a very, very long time and retail them to the specification that we do. The only problem is that in COVID there were some problems with winters. We stopped selling them, and we just didn't want to mess with it because it was very, very clear that there were some supply chain problems, there were some production problems, there were some foundry problems, and I kind of stopped selling them for a while. But obviously the demand for quick changes is pretty high, and we want to keep supplying them. So we found a new partner that's making them, and that's DMI. And DMI has been making quick changes for sprint cars with solid rear axles for a long time. And thanks to Rich Whiteman, we've been in contact, and Rich Whiteman has also been a very big help in this. And we are now importing these DMI quick changes because they now made an independent rear suspension version of it that we are bringing to Europe and also selling in America. So I'm super proud of that, and it's all made over here in America. They have very high quality control. I'm going to show you guys today what's going on here behind us in the DMI facility, and I guess you guys will be amazed because this is a typical American production, a pride of America. Like, this area is very well known for foundries and all these kinds of things. It's super, super nice. So come with me.
This is a very large facility, over 60,000 square foot. It's two main buildings, and you can really smell the smell of machining and the smell of production over here. And these are the units as they are cast, and there we can see all the various stations that we're all going to be looking at with you guys.
In our circle track world, in our catalog, 100-page catalog, we produce about 95 to 96% of the components in the catalog.
Wow.
Even a lot of the hardware and stuff in the rears we produce in-house. So over here, Dave is actually producing, those are drive axles for closed tube applications.
Right.
So the material is milled to our specs here in the United States, and then we'll turn it and spline it in-house. This will get splines inside as well as splines on the outside. It's a coupler that we use in sprint car racing drive lines. So there you can see it going basically op 1 and op 2. The live sprint car axle. So on a sprint car rear, I'll show you the big one over there, but you actually see the ring gear bolt right to it.
Oh,
so
right.
your wheels just slide right on here, and this is what you see outside, and this is what's spinning.
No
this
way.
Is what drives the car. So
That's incredible.
over here we're producing tubes for on a closed tube rear, like a late model or a modified.
Right. Oh yeah. So you have open tube and you have
These
closed
are open
tube.
tube and closed tube. So
That's wild.
That's a solid bar. We drill through it.
Wow, that must be quite a drill.
There's your drill bit.
No way. Look at that. Like, just for reference.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but we produce a rear cover that instead of using the 6 nuts on the outside, this base plate gets bolted on in those 6 spots. And then the rear cover has a top plate that goes on like a bank bolt and goes through these pins.
Oh, right.
And all you do is just go up with a ratchet, stick it in the middle of the rear cover, go a quarter turn, the rear cover comes off, you change your gears, you put it back on, a quarter turn, it stays on.
No way.
You can change gears in about 20 seconds.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Those are actually closed tube ones, but very similar to what we produce for you guys in the drift market. Our dimensions around here obviously are different.
Yeah, it's different.
And then our plug locations and stuff are different, but that's a made in the USA domestic forging that we have produced to our specs, and then we machine. Getting bolted on the tombstone there.
Oh wow, the tombstone.
Currently, right now, on the other tombstone, we're machining a center section, and then each tombstone weighs about 1,500 pounds unloaded.
Wow.
When that side's done, it pulls 5 Gs and swaps them out.
What? 5 Gs? That's wild.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's so crazy.
So, he'll fill the rest of the tombstone up. Get another one there, another one there.
Right. That's amazing. And that's basically how you get them from the foundry. It's so rough if you look at it.
Oh yeah. Yep.
We're like one step for...
On your guys' rears, we do a
billet
we have
one.
extra plugs in and so forth. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
a common rear cover utilized.
That's like the standard cover.
Yeah, that's a standard rear cover. So we have again, it's a proprietary, made in the USA forging that we had produced.
Great.
Until we're done, we basically go in. There's the finished piece ready to go to anodize.
All right.
And when it comes back, we will get our logos and stuff laser etched on it. So. Here Chuck's working on, we produce this billet rear hub. It's a 5-on-5 bolt pattern. It's utilized on some of the circle track cars here in the USA. So there was a problem during COVID. The whole industry was utilizing an import cast hub.
Right.
We were buying it from a company here in the United States, but apparently they were all coming from China or someplace.
Yeah.
We'll get something produced out of billet, and we start with a solid chunk of steel
go ahead,
and go to town. And they are a slow process to make.
Oh yeah.
But we do it. We're getting ready to walk into rear assembly. So actually, the way we have it set up, there's 8 stations to build rears at. We usually build a minimum of 8 rears a day, normally more around 12 to 16. This end is this 4 stations is the responsibility of one builder, and that builder builds the closed tube stuff as well as the drift rears. So here's 2 drift rears that you just finished building this morning. So as I said, these are your open tubes, what you're seeing here. This would be a sprint car rear. Like I said, the wheels go right on the outside of this. Your ring gear is bolted to this, and it's turning it over.
That is so incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
That is crazy. That's really nice.
What you see here is pure shaping taking place. So there we're putting splines on lower shafts. Getting that spline put on it.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's a titanium lower shaft from inside the rear. There, the midget torsion bars that we saw getting turned over there.
Right.
Splines put on them down. This one's not in service today. Section of the shop we'll service the local industry here in Lancaster, PA.
Right.
I mean, whatever comes through the door, we do about 95% our own product line, and the machine shop side is still about 5% of our business.
Right.
That's incredible. Printing rollers, or it was very more prevalent, I'd say, during COVID was probably the busiest this side got.
Yeah.
From the standpoint of say the local printing industry or the local food processing industry or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe they had a machine that was produced in France.
Right.
And it went down.
Exactly.
And now they couldn't get a piece for it. They'd bring that piece in, we'd produce it, keep them up and gone. So
that's
it
amazing.
helped both of us.
So it's a community function as well.
Course,
yeah, amazing. Yeah, I like that.
So this is some bearing overstock, and then this is actually really disassembly. So we rebuild about 600 rears a year here. Used units that come back in, you know, people bring their stuff to us either when it's lapped. We run it through a checklist of things. We gotta make sure the front snout is true, the axle is true.
And these castings, is this like older style?
That is actually just a different model.
Because it looks amazing.
XR2.
It's very hot rod like.
Yeah, so that one there, basically in 2008, we had the first rear out, the sprint car rear, similar to that one that we just looked at out there. And we decided we want to do something lighter. So again, our racing is pretty weight conscious.
Right.
So we came up with a deal. This casting is 4.5 pounds lighter than a conventional casting.
Right.
So it's very different than any rear in the industry. Is capable of being run inside the rear as well. There's some different driveline systems that are out there. And in order to do that, the ring gear had to be shuffled 1 inch to the left. So a whole bunch of different things went into this on the engineering side to make it all work. But it really, that year at the PRI show, it was a very revolutionary piece that the whole, even people not involved in our type of motorsport heard about it. They would come into the booth like, I gotta see this quick change rear you guys came up with. Everyone is talking about it.
Yeah.
You know, I race whatever. I race drag motorcycles, but a friend of mine is involved in sprint car racing. He said, I gotta stop over and see this, you know. So
well, it's thinking out of the box once more, and that's like amazing. Yeah, it's I like that you guys are so much in touch with like the actual people using it.
Yes.
And yeah, because that gives you so much advantage that like I like those products a lot, where you can really tell that the company who does all the production also really understands how they're being used.
With the black phosphate, and then people that are looking, you know, to option their quick change rears up and so forth. Now, in your case, yes, every rear that we're producing for the drift market is red polished.
It's polished, right?
Speaking in regards to
in general,
everything, no, it's not necessarily that way.
Because it's interesting. I did a video about 2 years ago about the quick changes when everybody said they were eating up so much horsepower.
Yes.
But they're not hypoid.
They're not, exactly.
And people don't know the difference between hypoid and spiral bevel. They have extra gears and like they eat up 200 horsepower. I'm like, oh, that's weird, because I had a car in the dyno on Monday and it made 580 on the Nissan Diff, and I put a quick change on it and it made 590 with the quick change.
Yeah.
How is it possible with the extra gear set? Well, the extra gear set is straight drive and the rest is spiral bevel.
Exactly.
Where the hypoid is obviously for the packaging and the road cars that you want to have the shaft lower, and like it's also like maybe noise and whatever.
Of course, yeah.
But like
it is very inefficient.
Yeah,
that's
the spiral.
That's
that's so funny.
The hypoid is very inefficient compared to a spiral bevel, and that's what people lose. I had a racer, we were at a trade show, and the guy came up, one of the big sanctioning bodies over here, had previously not been allowing quick changes. So they had announced a month before this trade show that they were going to allow quick changes for the next year. And this guy come over into my booth and started telling me about all the problems of quick changes, how much horsepower they rob.
Oh, really? Oh, no way. And that's somebody from a sanctioning body?
And he was a racer, actually.
Oh, right.
From a racetrack that had already allowed quick changes over the last 3 or 4 years. And he was telling me how he would never put a quick change in. That he's the only guy at his track that runs a standard, Ford 9-inch is what he has.
Yeah, all right, obviously.
And the whole rest of the field's on quick changes and he will not put one in because they're so inefficient. So I said to him, so you're the only guy at your track on a non-quick change? He said, yes. I said, so I guess you must win all the races? And he goes, well, no, I've never won. So you've never won?
Yeah.
So you must run top 5 every week. Well, no, I don't run top 5. I said, okay, well, let's just tell me here, where exactly do you finish usually? Well, I finish 15th to 20th. I said, so you're telling me that everyone else is doing it wrong. You're the only guy doing it right, but you run 15th to 20th every week. Is that right? And he goes, yeah. I said, I want you to go home to your mirror and keep saying that over and over to yourself, and tell me if the light bulb goes off at some point.
Ruminate.
Maybe you're not the guy that has it figured out.
Yeah,
you know? So,
but it's like funny. So it's always like, I always say like all these half truths, right? Because like if you add more sprockets somewhere, it's gonna. But like people don't know like the real, like the small thing, right?
Exactly.
And that's like the small differences. Which
people always want to focus on what they want to focus on.
Yeah,
They don't want to look at the whole picture. It's no different over here in very limited horsepower applications, for instance. Crate motors have become a big thing in circle track racing here in the United States. So a crate motor has 350 or 400 horse. So people are looking for the lowest reciprocating weight they can find.
Yeah.
So they go, okay, well, we produce our normal rears have a 10-inch ring and pinion in them.
Right.
We produce things for lower horsepower that have an 8-inch ring and pinion in them. They're 2.5 pounds lighter. It will accelerate probably a little faster. It's also going to decel faster, so it always needs to pick itself back up. Your 10-inch ring and pinion is going to carry momentum better, as well as your larger ring gear has more leverage behind it. So it turns the pinion over with less effort than what the small ring and pinion does.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, an 8 to a 10-inch means nothing. Like we've never seen one sliver of difference on the chassis dyno or anything else. But people just want to focus and go, well, it's 2.5 pounds lighter, it has to be better. No, it's also smaller and has less leverage behind it. You've got to look at everything. There's no free lunch. You get a little bit over here, then you take a little from over here. I always tell people it's kind of the 10 penny theory in my mind. Like, you can either spend 7 pennies here and 3 pennies here, or 5 here and 5 here.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
2 here, but you still only have 10 pennies.
I always say it's a card deck, and you can reshuffle it, and you can put all the pictures up top, but like that means that the bad cards they're still going to be in there. You're just changing. You're not changing the elements in the equation. And what I learned really quickly, because I've been doing BMW all my life, because it's obviously really big in Europe, that we had 210 millimeter differentials that came in M3s and stuff, and they were great on a 364 ratio. And then people would, but that's like a pretty long ratio, so people would want to go to a 412 or a 427, and they would get like these Japanese gears and like crazy gear sets, $2,500 just for the ring and pinion, and they would fail. And they were like, "How's it possible?" But I'm like, the ring gear is the same size, so your teeth just became way smaller.
Absolutely.
And if you look at these things, like if they're like 10 inch is a 25.4 centimeter. So that's a large increase over 210. So now if you're on a 412 for like the 412, which is the one-on-one on these units, you have pretty large teeth. You know?
Absolutely.
So like that's the thing that people don't get. Like, I never broke the standard ones. No, the standard ones are 338. You know, the teeth are way bigger. You're not going to break those. That's pretty funny.
This is just more inventory runoffs, you know, castings, tubes. We'll get into axles over here, replacement tubes as well for the closed tube market, lower shafts. Like I said, all different axles for different applications.
This is some facility. This is huge. Oh yeah. Well, you got a bunch of bearings on stock. This place is so huge. Like how many?
This is that's a sprint car frame and body sitting there. So that's what we're used to racing. That's one of my son's cars there. Just the frame and the body.
Oh, yeah, is he on Instagram?
I believe he is.
So I'll ask people to check him out, Nash.
So, and then as you said, kind of a 1995 Camaro that belongs to my in-laws.
Wow.
They just never wanted to get rid of it.
No. Oh, they bought it brand new?
Should be a 69 Camaro out front today, too.
A silver one? I saw that, because I got a 67 Firebird last year, a 400. I like those styles. Like, that's an amazing car. It's like typically a car they bought brand new and no one. Yeah, because I can.
Bought brand new and just never got rid of. Another sprint car frame, and then a Model 2. Castings, forgings, etc.
Oh, this is all your billets.
Yeah.
Wow.
Castings, etc.
This is
We carry about, between finished goods and raw materials, we have about $4 million worth of inventory.
That's
here.
insane.
So we doubled it during COVID is
Well,
what
yeah,
it
of
really
course.
took.
Yeah, yeah.
Because in order to serve our customers, we knew we had to have, it doesn't matter how much machine time you have or anything else. If you don't have raw material to produce the pieces, it's all useless. So
because all these production lines, even Volkswagen, and like they got stuck because there's like an Italian sunroof supplier that can't get brass, and like the smallest thing stubs the whole production line.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite an operation. It's incredible.
These are rears that are completed that they brought over earlier today that will get shipped out tomorrow. Over here you'll see this is a broach machine. So this provides internal splines. If you look closely, down here you barely see any spline.
Right.
That's what a pull broach does. So whatever we're splining would be fixtured up on here. A ram will come down, grab a hold of this nub here, and then pull that broach through, and the further it goes, the deeper the splines are until you have your finished spline. So it's already run through today, but this is actually the polishing process, the REM process.
Oh, wow.
So it takes 5 hours and 45 minutes to polish a ring and pinion. We put 6 in at a time, 6 rings and pinions, and basically it's a cutting agent, a deburring agent, and then a polishing agent, chemical, that runs through, as well as the media then, to get in every little crevice that you can, every little tooth.
It's like candy.
Polish done. Yeah.
So how long can you use the material? Is it like...
For quite a while, actually. So because of what we're doing, we actually buy, what REM does, the REM process does, is they'll sell you used material, because the more it gets used, the more the material gets smaller, and will get in all the cracks and crevices. So it depends what you're obviously trying to do. If you're trying to do something with big teeth, you can use new material. But for our case, right when we got in, they said you're going to want to buy our used material.
All right, so
the
smaller these things are, so if you're doing like excavator stuff or whatever, then you can use
big stuff. But here we need to use small stuff because we're trying to, in this case, mostly ring and pinions. But even some, I don't know that we have anything else laying here right now, but there are times we'll have small little couplers that we're trying to put the REM process on, the polishing process.
Well,
the other 2 couplers here are media related as well, but those are just to deburr like aluminum parts.
Oh, right.
You just throw the aluminum parts in there, it vibrates around, and it deburrs it for you.
And how big, like, does it... It's probably not the massive things, like the small burrs, probably, or is
Correct, yeah. So
right.
Just if there's a little burr on the end from the machining process or something,
right.
it'll just take it, and you use different media for what you want. So again, back to like the aluminum components we produce for the suspensions on spring cars and so forth. That one there, this type of media.
Oh yeah.
This type of media. This gives a polish, this does a deeper cut.
Right,
so this will give you like a matte finish, but it'll deburr it more. This won't deburr as much, but it'll give you a polished finish.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I've actually never seen that stuff or that process. It's like nice to learn something.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
And then over here is this is one of the most important machines I feel in our facility. Basically, this is a giant kidney. This is our coolant recycling system.
Right.
So we monitor the pH levels in our machines 3 times a day for our employees, make sure there's no skin issues or anything like that.
Right.
The pH levels start to get out of whack, we pump out the equipment.
How long have you been in this location?
We have been in this location 20 years in August.
Wow.
Yeah, so we started in a 6,600 square foot facility across town, just really probably about a mile at the most, mile and a half away.
So thanks Dave Eli for that amazing tour of the DMI facility, and we are very proud to represent DMI worldwide. And as you guys know, we speak English, German, French, Spanish. Try us in any other language, we'll gladly accommodate you. Drop us an email to order yours today or get more info. We apologize for not being able to supply quick changes for a couple months, but now you guys know the reasoning behind it, and you know that I will always put quality first. We will never ever sell you a product that I'm not 100% behind. Thank you so much for watching the video and have a fantastic day.